What's up, everybody? Jay Heat Sports Media coming at you again with that fire as always bringing the hot topics, the controversial topics, trying to get people talking. That being said, recently on social media I saw this post about Tim Duncan and how they wanted to compare him trying to take a shot at Lebron James and probably Kevin Durant and others for their wanting to go and form their own teams throughout their career in order to precipitate winning for their career, at least on the highest of levels. They talked about how Tim did it the right way, stayed with his team. There's this notion out there that guys, if they go to a team through free agency and build a team with talent, that's how we get a super team. But if you go through a trade or you go through the draft process and the GM and the owner builds it, then it's okay. Let me let you all see that post for a second that I'm talking about. Take a look. So y'all saw that. I really don't understand why people don't really understand exactly how this works in the NBA. We've been made to think that a player has to stay with their team in order to show you their greatness. The problem is us, the fans, you guys out there, we judge them based on success. In my opinion, Tim Duncan not only was on a super team, he actually was on a super team for the better part of a decade, which has a lot to do why LeBron James made his decision in 2010, along with your Kobe Bryants and others. A guy, let me just make a comparison for you. Let's go Tim Duncan versus Kevin Garnett. Both guys played the 4 and the 5 position, both outstanding, both Hall of Famers. On most people's list, they would for sure say Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time. Probably top 10, maybe even top 5, depending on who you're talking to. Garnett gets none of that type of love. He gets love as a Hall of Famer, maybe a top 15, top 20. Top 25 is probably more likely, but the truth is these guys were neck and neck in terms of their careers, and the difference is supporting cast, circumstances. You are a victim and you benefit from what's put around you in the situation you end up in. Kevin Garnett had to deal with guys. And the first time when he got in the league, he had a Stephon Marbury with him at first, which we were hoping was going to be something, but then that got broken up. He had to have guys like a Chauncey Billups and a Wally Zerbiak, not bums, but I'll get to my point. Then from there, they gave him the likes of a Sam Cassell, also Latrell Sprewell. They only gave him them guys for a hot second towards the end of what was their prime. And when he got those guys, it took in the Western Conference Finals Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton to put them out. Then he got a guy by the name of Randy Foye. Look him up. Garnett didn't really have a whole lot of help on his side throughout the time he was in Minnesota, which is why he went to the Boston Celtics to team up with your man Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, showed LeBron James and these guys the blueprint. But he did it so late, we didn't get to really see the greatness of him from a success standpoint and a winning standpoint because he waited too late, not Mr. James though. Now back to Tim Duncan. He comes in the league MVP, David Robinson. The Spurs were a top 1 or 2 team in the conference for the couple seasons before Tim Duncan's draft year. They tanked to get Tim Duncan, who we saw coming from a mile away. Tim Duncan, you got to remember, he could have went first in the draft in 95 over Joe Smith. He was a competitor with Allen Iverson as far as would he have gone over Allen Iverson and Marcus Camby in 96. I'm sorry, Joe Smith was 95. But he waited until 97, and then in 97 came out number 1. But we knew who Tim Duncan was coming and who he was. And he got onto a team with an MVP candidate, and from there they added a future Hall of Famer in Tony Parker, who we knew because he started playing in the pros at 16, he was coming. Manu Ginobili, who was already a beast overseas, and we knew he was coming. And a guy who, in Manu Ginobili, who was so good, Pop put him on the bench, not because he was a bench player, but to deepen the team so they could have an advantage on the Lakers, who also had a powerhouse squad on their team of many all-stars and the best players in the league. This is why Duncan and Garnett are viewed differently. You go look, they're both 15-time all-stars. Duncan has 15 All-NBA appearances, and Garnett only 12, I think. Actually, no, 9. And then Duncan has 15 all defensive teams. Garnett only, I think, 12. But remember, the all defensive teams and the MVPs, which Duncan has slightly more than Garnett over, is based on success. Take a look this year when they vote for those awards. You'll notice guys that are on winning teams get those awards over guys that are losing teams, as opposed to the All-Star, which they give if you're just killing in the league. The success matters, people. Pay attention. Garnett and Duncan are really neck and neck, but we view them different because of success. LBJ did not want to be Kevin Garnett when he was trying to compete against the likes of the image of a Kobe Bryant and a Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson and a Larry Bird, who all had Hall of Famers around them because their GMs and owners did their job. So LeBron James took it into his own way, made sure he handled it in his own way, and became his own owner, GM, working with the owners, because they still have to approve this stuff. When he went to go play with Bosh and Wade, it's not like Pat Riley didn't have to sign off on it, and LeBron James just made that happen. It's still a team effort, still involves the owner, collaboration with the players, and you put together a great team and then you go win. And that's what LeBron did, that's what Tim did, that's what Kobe did, that's what Mike did, that's what Larry Bird did, and Kevin's doing now. They just all do it in their own way, people. Stop giving them a hard time. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Probably hate this one because y'all don't want to hear this type of information, but make sure to do one of those. Hit the bell. Catch me on YouTube, J Heat Sports Media. Also, make sure you check me out on TikTok, Instagram, and also at the Vault JMU 414 on Twitter. Holla at your boy. You know I love talking about basketball. That's my sport. I'm always with it. Holla.